absolutely no idea what I'm doing, and two, if this even works. So what I'm going to do real quick is send out some marches and then go to Golden Kingdom and try it out. This is my first ever, first ever live stream. If you know me at all, you know this is kind of a big deal because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, to many more, maybe, right? Yeah. All right. If for some reason somebody does watch this and they type, I have no idea how to engage at this point. Maybe one day I'll get music. Probably would help with deafening things that are going on here and not going on here. If you're silly enough to watch this, one day you'll be like, I saw his first. I was his first. All right. Let's see if we can get into it real quick. This is just a test, man, just to see how I do and see if I'm gonna do this in the future. This game is not very forgiving at times when it comes to gear. Since I'm here, I might as well make sure that Guan has his gear. We can steal the horn. Let's steal the horn. There we go. What does my boy have? I'm curious. Yeah, that's fine. I keep trying to like check. Oh. Honestly, if somebody joined, I don't even know if I would know. You can probably hear my dog is. Yeah, there's no way you're not hearing them. Pause it for a sec. Man, I cannot believe how many things can go off and go wrong when you're trying to record. I don't know what your guys' strategy is, but I just fight everything. I gotta figure out how to do some sort of music because this sucks. So the question is, I have no idea if this guy's even still in chat, but it was, should I invest in YSG as free to play? And there's a lot going on with the early game now, and it's so hard. I mean, you get one commander swap, maybe two. I don't even remember what it is. They want you to have a good time early on, but it's increasingly more difficult. And I don't know if you're going to play long term or not. I think some of the numbers show that many people stop playing after like one or two KVKs. So if you're not going to play the long game, yeah, get YSG. If you're going to go the long game and you plan on switching to YSG out, cool. But yeah. Can you hear me now? The WI war or NI war? What main are you? Are you archers? Cavs, infantry? Siege? Infantry. Some questions are not that simple, but I'll tell you this. If you're not having fun in this game, you're not going to play very long. And I will say this game is an absolute grind. Also, is this your first time playing? If you can hit me in the chat with that answer, because that'll kind of help me with what I'm going to say next. Okay. Um, if you are a casual player, after a couple KVKs, um, they're going to weed you out. That's just the way it is. So if that's the case, have fun now. I was free to play for a very long time when I started out, and you're just behind the curve, man, with everything. That's because, I worked, got a family, all this other stuff. And so it is so difficult to play um, this game as a casual player. So if you're not going to go hardcore and spend a ton of, like, you need a bunch of farms. And then on your main, the only thing you should be doing is farming gems, right? I mean, you got to get to a point on your main to get to City Hall 25, but you got to build up farms. And if you're not going to build up farms and you can't farm gems on your main, then this game is going to be hard for you. So I really like so you go to the end game, right? So barb hunting is good with YSG, like Derma said, but I love Hercules, man. He is so strong, and obviously you don't have that right now. Um, but this game's a grind if you go into the end game, and so I just tell you that because it's very a lot of people are very naive because the first couple of KVKs nobody sweats you. Then you get to after KVK 3, usually it's after 4, I think it is, and then people are like, if you don't put up numbers, you're out. People are like, what? And they don't have the ability to do it because it's their first time doing it. And so I was very fortunate that in the kingdom I started with, they're very patient with me. And then I got some more free time, and then I spent more. And then now I'm to a spot where I don't need to spend that much. I'm good. But I'm telling you, this game is very deceptive. It is very much a grind, especially for free to play. So if you're not gonna, I guess my point is, if you're gonna do the long game, is that gonna be your commander swap, right? Because he's good for a little bit, but then he goes out, right? I mean, that's why they have the commander swaps. So are you grinding gems, like just farming nothing but gems right now? I see you mentioned you got some farms and stuff like that. Yeah. Uh, there is a period where I was religiously farming gems for like a year and a half. I got to the point where my best day was 5,500 gems in one day, but it's all I did, man. Um, yeah, you need to get to City Hall 25, right? And then you got to build up at least one troop type, right? And have it a very strong strong march. That way, you can put up some sort of numbers and contribute. I'll tell you, it's been a very long time since I played the early game. I would think so. The question is 300 million of each resource type good for KVK1. I mean, I would think so. Um, right. So that's just a very general statement. But like if you have very strong troop types and you're attacking other weak players, that'd be great. If you're going against whales and they keep beating the snot out of you, it's going to be more expensive. But usually I think that would be okay for KVK1, I'm guessing. Hey, W, or I keep saying W, NI War. Do you have access? I'm just curious because I don't know this. Do you have access to the siege marches in before KVK1? The two purple ones. What's Narcissus and Catherine? Oh, they come out in KVK2. Is that what you're saying? Like, is it like after KVK1 they pop up, or just before KVK2? Derma, if you know. Yeah, I made the reason why I ask is I made man, I was just procrastinating. Made the videos on the talent builds for the six legendaries, and someone had typed in, "Hey, don't forget to do the epics," which I'll probably do in the next day or two. And it just got me thinking. I do not know when the epic siege commanders actually come out, and I was just curious. I went so far as to check some early game KVKs, but there wasn't any really fighting going on because I wanted to see if there were any siege out there that were epics. So just curious. Hey, Derma, do you do siege or are you just jumping in? Who do you run on your main? And out of curiosity, where are you from? Like what country? Just kind of curious to see who's watching. This is my first time doing this. Gotcha, Gonzo. Yeah. Oh, Australia. Yeah. I man, I've always wanted to go there since I was a kiddo, and hopefully in the next couple of years I can make it out. Beautiful place, man. Derma, what seed are you in? What kingdom seed? A seed. So I was in a D seed for a long time, right? And then I would go to barb chains, and it was like wide open. You maybe see one or two other people, and then uh, I went to my current kingdom, and we're like a low A, high B. Right now we're at a B, and man, when I go to barb chain, there's like nothing to chain because there's so many people out there. There is such a difference when you get at a D seed on the activity level in KVK. So our last KVK, people had trouble barb chaining because, fuck man, so many people were barb chaining. Yeah. One thing I learned too, when I was in my D seed, you could farm gems. I mean, it was competitive a little bit, but everybody kind of respected if you were going to get a gem node, they would let it go. Dude, what I have noticed in other kingdoms, competitive kingdoms, they just be jacking it, man. At least there's one or two kingdoms every KVK now that are just they don't they don't care, man. And it's just interesting to see the difference in seeds and who you play with and how they act. It's very interesting. Yeah, if you're fighting, as long as you have War Frenzy, it'll do it. So that's how it works. So your War Frenzy is 15 minutes. The question is about the tower and the auto shoot. It's when you have War Frenzy. So when War Frenzy knocks off, then so does your auto attack. So as long as you've attacked somebody within 15 minutes, then it'll stay on. The other thing that you might encounter is if somebody is from another camp that's fighting with you, I don't think it auto attacks who they're attacking. I think it has to be from your camp. Yeah, to clarify, my kingdom doesn't steal gem nodes. It's when we play and we're in a camp with other kingdoms that jack it. My kingdom's fucking solid. Yeah, as long as they're engaging and War Frenzy's on, you're good. Yep. I was actually thinking about putting out a video. I don't know, about like pass seven, because in pass seven, typically, someone takes the pass, and for the most part, no one's really going in anybody else's area. But I've noticed there's been a ton more siege, like camped out. In our last KVK at pass seven, we had on the enemy side, I think close to 30 siege just sitting around. And so a tactic would be, right? If everybody just kind of got in one spot near the gate, the pass, and stop moving, right? Show like no activity, and then don't attack. Don't go through the gate for like 15 minutes. Let all the war frenzy drop off, and then go in and attack. So I might make a video about that because now there's enough siege out there that if you did that and everybody kind of followed, right, you could do a surprise attack and all their war frenzy would have dropped off. Yeah, so I think it's from if they're from. Yeah, we actually had that happen in our last KVK where somebody accidentally attacked from one camp to another, or we were in the same. It was past 7, I remember specifically, and the other side, one of their guys somehow attacked somebody, and then all the towers started shooting, and then they had infighting, and then we all. That's when we chose. We saw that they were in chaos, and then we stormed the castle, if you will, and went through the pass and took everybody out. So yeah, you could have had that situation that all the towers start trying to protect somebody from your camp or your kingdom specifically, and it goes bad really quick because they'll turn red, right? If someone turns red, your towers are going to shoot at it from your view. Like they turn red from your view. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to happen. The question was about his tower getting attacked by allies. It's going to happen every now and then. And what sucks is if you're not paying attention, like you step away, because you can as a tower, right, as a siege player, and you found that you just took out somebody's stuff because of this accidental attack. Um, this is what it is. I think most people are understanding because they get it. Still doesn't help, but yeah. Yeah, war drums on your farm towers to get max rage. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Yeah, I agree with you. it should be, that would be nice to have it an option as a toggle, right? Turn it off and on, so you can't attack somebody from your camp, right? Unless you go to war with them for some reason. There's a number of things they do when it comes to campmates that just don't make sense to me. But man, what are you gonna do? It's frustrating. What on your main? What do you have for accessories right now for your siege march? The Lance's Horn is, it's good, very respectable. It shows that 5 of you are watching, which is honestly 5 more than I thought. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, assuming you're not AFK, I'm just not in your background, just appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, accessories can be very, very difficult because they're so expensive, man. Jesus. I just made my 4th. So prior to going Siege, pretty much full time, right? Like, I had made a ring and horn for 3 of my marches, right? I was pretty much a cav main, but I was working on archers, right? You see, I have an archer set out there, and its gear is like purple with, I want to say the chest is golden, right? Legendary. And so I had the ring and horn for three marches, and that's what I use now. So I made the 4th horn, hoping it would crit, because knowing if not, the 5th one will automatically get a crit. But then I'm thinking I might, depending on how much longer I play it, right? Because we're talking a long time down the road. I may do horn and drums over time, if it works out that way. Because the rage that you need is just out of control, especially for the first round. I'm not there yet. That'll take some time, but yeah. But right now, with just ring and horn, they're all basic. Nothing's crit. It does well. I'm not going to complain. The trades, even on bad stuff, is better than... The average is better than most people's average, right? So I'm very cognizant of that. And so people don't want to hear complaining about stuff when you have it real good. So I have all 8 siege, right? 6 of the legendary and the 2 epics. For the most part, I just run the 3 legendaries. I have found that the epics are just a resource drain for the most part. And so I think when the next set of commanders come out, which I'm guessing is going to be like maybe January, right? It's going to be a while still. Then I'll run the 4 marches. But when you run that, you have to carry a lot of siege to run 4 marches and then still get your deads. So then you got to carry a certain amount of things that are not siege, and it just makes it a little stressful, a little difficult. That's one thing that is a hindrance for me. Can you run mix to avoid overpowering? Uh, what do you mean by that? Oh, so as far as the troops I put in, I put on my main march, which is Gajamada. The question is T4s and T5s. How do I half or how do I use it right? So I'll answer it on how I use them. Um, Usually on my main march, I go full T5, which is Gajamada and Gonzo. And then on my other marches, I'll go like 60, 70% T5 and then the rest T4. Sometimes I'll do one specific march all T4 if fighting isn't stable, and that'll be my sacrificed march. So it'll be in the front, and if that dude gets taken out, typically I can get the rest away. So at least I know that they're T4s. When I do Golden Kingdom, it usually works well until like the last one or two, and then I get screwed up. Only once have I gotten 100%. Because you got to realize I only run two of my three uh, siege marches in here, and everybody else is just kind of okay, and that's being generous. So anybody else that is watching, do you guys run siege, or are you just jumping in just to listen? If you are focusing on everything other than Gaja on support, can you slap on a greatest glory plus horn and do horn and drums? Rest me and that Gaja get all the rage. Yeah, for sure. For horns, three is I want to say the minimum that makes it legit, and then four and five are right there, right? But three is the magic number, and if I understand correctly, if one of them crits, it fucks it up. So you want it at 50, and if one goes to 65, then it works different. It's not the same. So then you'd have to have them all 65, right, for it to function accordingly. Um, but yeah, um, early on, and I don't know how long you've been playing, but overraging was considered so bad. Um, and then now overraging isn't as bad as people want it. And then with siege, that first cycle is so long just to get it going. So um, with siege, rage is never the bad thing. And then with sharpshooter being what it is, how it sucks your rage, you want to have some rage in there to compensate for taking it. Yeah, getting off that skill cycle in a battle, like those quick battles where they bounce back into their cities, right? If they're cheeseburgering the trades, you can definitely tell a difference. You're 100% correct. Oh, I missed the question. Hey, thank you for all the content you provide. I'm in KV2 now. I'm running Narcissus and Catherine, but I'm struggling to get gear. Does legendary sheep gear appear in the hammer egg events after KVK3? Yeah. Thank you for seeing that, Derma. Man, you're doing me a solid. Yeah, they appear in the. Actually, I think I have the hammer event going on right now. Let me show you. So typically, siege is always the first one because, you know, that's how they like it. So your weapons there, your headpiece, obviously, chest, hands, some legs, and then the feet. And then if you wanted any of this, you could do it. And then on this, because I have everything I need, I typically just get the purple chest pieces. So the question is, what do you prioritize for the build order? I did a whole video on gear, and that's like probably one of my second best. The first video that did the best was stop. Watch this video before you go to use Siege because it tells you everything that's wrong with Siege. The second was the gear video, and I think that one kind of a lot of people like the gear video. What I would tell you is the feet and legs do not get march speed from the epics. So if you could arrange and say, hey, I can, you know, make it to where you can do feet and legs first, awesome. But because Siege gear is such an upgrade, and say you were going into KVK and you don't have like feet and legs, but you had chest or you had the weapon, yeah, just do an upgrade. They're all really good. But if you're looking for march speed specifically, then you're going to want to upgrade your feet and legs first. Other question is about the egg event in KVK2. Legendary for Siege are not appearing to pick in KVK2 as a reward. Sometimes I think when they developed Siege, they did not care about the long-term plan, or two, they don't want you having legendary gear in KVK2 because it's too strong, is my guess. So if that's the case, and if you watch my gear video, I tell you that the gathering gear, your regular gathering gear, is just about as powerful as your epic gear that has not been crit. So if you crit your epic gear, then it's absolutely worth doing. But if it's not crit yet, then just use your gathering gear. Watch the video. It'll show you. But yeah, it sucks that they don't give you that option right now. And they do for everybody else, right? And if they're not going to give you, since you can save your hammers, then just save your hammers and don't use them right now. Then, if you're literally waiting for legendary gear, then just that's one of the good things about that event. You can save them, so build them up like you normally would, and save it. So that way, when you get access to it, you can start getting it really quick. Ah, thanks. Appreciate that you watch all the videos. Perfect. Out of curiosity, your epic, I'm sorry, your blue gathering gear that's expertise. That's fine. How is it trading? Have you fought with it yet? Being in like an SOC, right? I've only had the opportunity to play Siege in that arena, so I'm always curious. Actually, I'm very curious how others are in now that I know you can't do KVK1, but KVK2 and KVK3, how it's turning out, if it's even worth it, or you're just underpowered and getting wrecked. B seed, I'm only one siege tower on field. I'm swarmed all the time. Even hiding behind cities is hard, but still trades. If not focused, 300, 400%. That's cool. Yeah. I will say the benefit of going to the kingdom that I went to, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this. I have a lot of strong fighters in my kingdom. Like, I am surprised how much they don't give a fuck. They will just attack, and they don't care, right? And as a siege player, I love that, right? Because I know they're not going to turn around and split tail, and I'm left hanging. And especially if I know it's people from my kingdom, I don't mind getting, like, taken out. But they're strong, and they're really good. And so I'm very happy with that. So it does make a difference on who is in your kingdom for siege sometimes, because those strong fighters really do help you out. Yeah, people, when they see that siege tower, they want to get you, and they know where you are at all times. It used to be, when I first started, I could hide, right, up behind cities and all that other stuff. Now, man, I've seen them rush through lines and get killed just trying to get to me. It's funny. At least early on, it was a lot like that. Now it's because there's so much siege, it's not as bad, but it was funny. Yeah, you will absolutely earn a reputation in your kingdom as someone who splits tail early or stays. And for me, I weigh it out. If like past seven's a great example. We weren't doing nothing. We weren't doing anything with past seven, right? They had it, we had it. It didn't matter, right? People were just fighting to fight, and we weren't pushing. So I'm not going to get wrecked over that. If we're trying to gain an objective, then I'll get wrecked over it, right? Like, you got to be a little smart sometimes when you're doing siege. But your reputation, people do know who will come to the front lines and hold their own. Yeah, that's fun to do. Early on, when I was in my DC kingdom, I would provoke fights. I would literally come out above the ball, right? You know, when everybody's staring at each other. And I knew in my old kingdom I had a few strong players that it was like that's what we did. I'd go out, place my tower up, I would get attacked, and as they're coming to attack me, then my boys would back me up. It was cool. It was fun. Oh, I didn't even see that guy. Oh, I thought I picked up two of these. 11? I don't want to use it yet. See how painful this is going to be. Let's try to get through this quick. Of course. I try to save my take out the towers in the last like two, and I don't know if I don't always get the option to get them. I'll be honest, like siege tactics, it's learning the flow of the game, to be quite honest with you. And there are certain times when siege just is not the option. You absolutely need one strong march. My Cav march here, boop, Huo, it's all legendary gear. I don't think anything is crit on it, but I'm not there to like make mass movements, right? It's my one march that's strong enough that if I need to go out, I will. And you definitely know when your kingdom's on the back of their feet, when everybody's strolling around the cities and no one's coming out. That is not the time to put out your siege, right? That's a time that you're going to cheeseburger. And if you're going to cheeseburger, then you don't want to use siege, right? And it can be very frustrating as siege when that happens. Hey, Cat, hiya. It can be very frustrating as siege when that happens because it feels like you're useless. And quite honestly, you are at that point. You're not a standalone march. So that's why you need a second, at least another march that can go out and do something. And quite honestly, if I knew what I knew, whatever that saying is, I would have done infantry and done, I would have done the cheeseburger march with Liu Che and Alex, right? But there you go. What I do, in one of my videos, I actually showed it for a brief second, and I thought about doing a video on it, and I may one day. But it was basically, when I know it's coming, I try to get first my march to break down, and then I will send all three to territory. You know, your territory. I don't care how far away it is. That way it'll start to move. And then, and only then, if there's cities nearby, I'll drop them into a city as they're moving back, if that's even an option. But the first thing is to break them down, go towards your territory, and then jump into a friendly city if you can, or a flag that won't get attacked. But really, you'll learn, you'll know who's fighting with you, and that's your best indicator on how that ball is going to do. If you're doing like an altar fight, and you guys are on, like, say, the stronger side, and there's like 6 of you camped out at their gate, and all of a sudden, you know, they keep fighting and fighting through the gate, right? And then they get really low, and the other side just keeps going back and refreshing their marches. You're going to get wiped soon. Like, watch the other marches and how they get low, and they'll just take off, right? They don't care about you, right? So just be mindful. That's another thing to kind of figure out. We wanted to get more speed ups, so I think we're doing third pop, and we just passed the second one, so hopefully soon we'll get into KVK. I'm itching. I am itching to get back into KVK. Jesus. That's a lot of hills. Oh, you guys just registered? Yeah. We register like in 2 more weeks. I think that's what it is. You know what's so I only been doing this a few months, and I'm actually surprised at how many people watch my videos that I run into in KVKs. And everybody's been really cool. One time I was set up, and I knew the guy, you know, when you're invading somebody's territory and they're the one city and everybody goes by it and you just plant up and you put your siege tower up, and I'm like, this guy's going to attack me from behind. And he did. And I go, I typed to the guy, I go, dude, I knew you were going to attack me. And he was like, hey man, I like your videos. And it was just like, oh, that's fucking cool. I don't know. I appreciate it. It's kind of cool. I should have chose you. I don't know why I hit blessing. I was talking. Okay. That's funny. That would have been funny if that was actually you. I mentioned in one of the vids, but like I have found that other Siege players, regardless of like your camp, other camps, enemy, everybody's been really cool. I've typed to so many people just to kind of see what they do or just to make some chat because early on there wasn't a lot of us. It's like, oh, dude, another Siege tower. That's awesome. What are you doing, man? And so I would type to them and they'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing? And then I'd help them out. I didn't care if they were on the enemy side, right? It was just one of those things like the Siege Brotherhood. It's just been fun. I will say doing these videos has added another aspect to the game that has been enjoyable. I guess that's the best way to put it. Because this game can be a grind. The question, have you done a video on the best Siege of Orleans auxiliary skills? I have not. It's been a while since I've done it, and I don't know if I was doing videos at the time. As a matter of fact, I don't think I was. I think I was thinking about it. But Alex's skill, I forget what it is, does not work. So just, I think it's like, the one where he gives like the pop of the 1700 damage. Then I tested it out. Didn't work. I typed to VIP support, who gave very ridiculous answers. But the short answer is it doesn't work. So if I were you and you were doing Siege of Orleans, I would take whatever skills you have, test it on a barb, and then go back and look through the report to see if it popped off. Yeah, it's 40% attack is good. Second skill is only basic attack, does not range basic. Right. This was before this was a while ago, before they had all these they didn't always have narratives for certain stuff. And so you thought everything worked at one point when it didn't. So I saw so many weird marches out there, and they just didn't know it didn't work. Because I don't think sometimes people read battle reports, or if they do, they're not that good at it. So, yeah. There we are. And this is why I saved it. All right. The one that does work is the poison from what's the old poison one? The archer. I can see the face, but that one does work for what it's worth. Oh, what happened? I looked away and I was out of it. Oh, I didn't finish it in time. Oh, what a bitch. I got that far. See, I was talking too much and it got me. Oh, well. All right. Let me throw some marches out. What the hell is going on? That was weird. Some sort of delay. Shit, I didn't have any marches. All right. I was trying to live stream for like a day and a half now, right? But either there was lots of noise in the house or what have you, and I wasn't able to do it. And then I tried earlier, and I just couldn't get it to work. And then my kiddo had to help me. And so all that wasting of time cost me some material, but it's all good. I wish I would have known it was so close. I would have tried to burn through it. I was close to the end. All right, peeps. Yeah, Tommy, that's who it was. I appreciate all 6 of you watching my first live stream. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, like, subscribe, I don't know, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. I even appreciate the fact that you even came into this thing on my first live stream. So I thank you all, and I'm going to try to learn how to shut this down. All right, guys. Have a good one. Range rocks.